guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out Sunconscious. Sunconscious and several other people sent me this crazy story, and it's coming out of our favorite state, Ratchet Florida. So if you guys have not heard, it's about a 71-year-old man named Curtis Reeves. And Curtis Reeves was so upset about a 43-year-old man named Chad Oulson texting during the previews of the movie that he ended up pulling out a gun and shooting him. This story is just insane. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys these two news clips, and I will come back with the rest of my commentary.
I'm John Wilson. Thank you for being with us tonight. Well, this has certainly taken us by surprise today, just what happened. We're not sure of all of these details, but we do know some of it. This is the story that has shaken Florida and no doubt part of the nation because it happened in a Pasco County theater right outside Tampa, where a retired cop has now been charged with shooting a man to death. Inside a movie theater, the Grove 16 Theater in Wesley Chapel, the man's wife survived. She has a gunshot wound. In a moment, our Josh Cassio is going to give us the latest on those shots.
First, though, let's go right up to the minute with all the details in our investigation. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank is live in Wesley Chapel. You've been there all day long, Evan.
Well, Kelly and John, deputies have finished picking up the pieces of chaos behind me. The scene has been shut down, and today we can tell you that ordinary people were forced to spring into action into a scene that is normally reserved for the screen that they were watching. Tonight, there were gunshots, there was bloodshed, and there were heroes. If the blood wasn't still on their clothes, they might not have believed it.
Their voices start going up. There seems to be almost a confrontation. Somebody throws popcorn. I'm not sure who threw the popcorn, and then bang, he was shot. 43-year-old Chad Oulson dropped by a bullet allegedly fired from the gun of 71-year-old retired Tampa policeman Curtis Reeves. The Pasco Sheriff's Office says Reeves was angry over Oulson's texting and that Oulson was mad at Reeves for telling management. But the sheriff says that Reeves had no reason to shoot.
Over a cell phone, over somebody texting, and to take their life. It's ridiculous. Inside, there were heroes too. An off-duty Sumter deputy successfully got control of the gun after the single shot. He reacted. From speaking to him, he didn't know that he had put the gun down right away. He was just going in the battle. He didn't know what was going to happen. He was just charging in to stop the shooting. And see the man with his shirt off? That's a nurse who tried to stop the dying man's bleeding and perform CPR. Charles and Alex Cummings, a father and son who were celebrating Charles's 68th birthday, called 911 after Oulson literally fell into their laps.
I heard the victim say, "I can't believe it," and then he fell on us.
Hours later, it still made no sense.
I can't believe people would bring a gun to a movie. Okay? I can't believe they would argue and fight and shoot one another over popcorn or even a cell phone. Just horrible.
The victim's 33-year-old wife, Nichole, was wounded in the shooting, Kelly, and here's how. At the moment that the trigger was being pulled, she put up her hand instinctively almost to try and stop the bullet from hitting her husband. Of course, no hand in the world can do that. The bullet ripped through her hand and then hit her husband. She was wounded, but she is expected to survive, Kelly.
Our thoughts are with the family tonight, the little 3-year-old girl. Okay, Evan, first of all, the suspect, 71 years old, Curtis Reeves, retired Tampa police officer. What has he been doing since he retired, and how long ago did he retire?
Well, he retired about 20 years ago, TPD said, in around 1993, and we can tell you that he was also, after he retired, the director of security at Busch Gardens, and he was also on the board of the Hernando County Crime Stoppers. So obviously this is somebody who is very well known in the community, and we've also learned tonight that his son is currently a police officer with TPD, and you certainly have to think about what that family is also going through tonight, Kelly.
Absolutely, yes, for everybody involved. It's just very terrifying to think about the whole thing. All right, Evan, thank you.
Deadly shooting is set to reopen today, and as that's happening, a woman is coming forward about another close encounter.
She claims she was also threatened by accused shooter Curtis Reeves at the same theater just a few weeks ago. 10 News reporter Grayson Calm is live at the Grove 16. Grayson, this woman says she too had a run-in with Reeves while she was texting before a movie.
Cheyenne, she says he flew off the handle. He even shouted, but she never saw a weapon. This suspect, Curtis Reeves, is still locked up. A judge has said he will not be able to bond out of jail until his trial for second-degree murder. This woman may be a witness at that trial. She's now come forward. Jamira Dixon says she was also harassed by the accused theater shooter. She and her husband Mike tell a story that is strikingly similar to what unfolded here Monday. Just like shooting victim Chad Oulson, Dixon was also texting before a movie at this same Cobb theater on December 28th, and shooting suspect Curtis Reeves didn't like it.
He became just upset about the whole situation and kept staring and kept giving us dirty looks.
Dixon says Reeves even stood up and shouted at another person texting during the previews. When Dixon heard what happened here Monday, she says she saw her life flash before her eyes, and she immediately called detectives to share her story. She says it really could have been her, and she wants Reeves locked up for a long time.
You guys just watch the news clips, and a lot of things just really disturb me with this story, and I've been following up with this since it first hit. So a lot of folks initially didn't know who this man was texting. They're saying he was texting his daughter. Then it came out that the daughter was 3 years old, and then it came out that he was texting the babysitter. That's what a lot of good parents do when they're out and about. They check in with the babysitter. They make sure that everything's okay. You know, I think the thing that bothers me the most with this story is the fact that, if you guys don't know, this man is a retired police officer. He helped start the tactical team down in Tampa. And a lot of people know that the tactical police force are kind of like a militarized police department. And it seems like a lot of police officers now are becoming more and more militarized. We're hearing too many stories across the nations of rogue cops just literally pulling out their guns and not wanting to be bothered and shooting people. You know, for this man to think that a proper response to somebody throwing popcorn at him was to pull out a gun and shoot him is just sick to me. You know, what I find even more crazy is that today, the news is now trying to push propaganda and say, well, he was a great cop. He had never been in trouble before. You know, he was just a ticking time bomb. And I just find that to be bullshit. Who cares if he was a great cop? I mean, that's like saying that the Colorado movie theater shooter was a great student. He was a straight A student. He was very, very smart. No one gives a fuck. He came into a movie theater and shot innocent people. I don't give a damn what he did in his 20 years as a cop. He took the life of a father and a husband over something as petty as texting during the preview of a movie. We've all been guilty of it. I know I have. I've texted y'all when I've been at the movies during the previews as I'm waiting for the movie to start, and I'm letting y'all know, well, I'm about to watch this. You know what I'm saying? Has anybody seen it yet? Any thoughts? And that keeps me busy up until the time that the movie starts. And once the movie starts, I put my phone away. You know, I didn't know that there was a rule that you can't text during the preview. People come in late during the preview. People are walking in front of other people during the preview. It's just sad that people have such this entitlement issue that they can go around telling other folks what to do. I mean, it's like this whole rogue cop mentality. And this is not the first case of these cops are out here literally taking people's lives. I mean, to me personally, being that he's been on the police force for so long and he was part of starting that militarized police unit, I think that they need to look further into his background. You know, because I just don't believe that this man was just a ticking time bomb. I think for him to be so calm to pull out a gun, shoot somebody, then sit down and continue watching the movie, I think that says a lot to me. I just don't feel like this is the first time that this man has killed somebody. I can see the same ex-police officer getting so upset at a suspect for talking back to him that he might have pulled out a gun and shot that suspect. You know, who's to say that other folks have not lost their lives foolishly because of this man's actions? You know, we had a case 2 weeks ago in North Carolina where a family called the police to their home because their 18-year-old son was having like some type of schizophrenic attack. He started going crazy and he had a screwdriver and he was screaming and yelling. And they had 2 officers already pinning this man down. The family says a 3rd officer came in there and said basically he didn't have time for this shit. He pulled out the gun and he shot the little boy and the young boy died. And it seems like there's more and more cases of this. Earlier this week I posted a story on Facebook about the whole Kelly Thomas situation. And Kelly Thomas was another person who had schizophrenia. The police were called on him because he was, you know, going through people's cars and trying to open up car doors, but he was having an episode and there was literally video of 6 police officers on top of him, jumping him, and this man is screaming, "Daddy, they're trying to kill me. Daddy, help. Daddy, help." He was literally out of his mind. The autopsy came back and showed he didn't have any drugs in his system. He was just having an episode. And do you know that these police officers walked after they beat this man to death? You know, there's too many cases of this going on around the nation where police officers are so quick to pull out their guns, their tasers, jump and beat people, and nothing happens to them. You know, for him to be so cold to think that it was okay to pull out a gun and shoot somebody over texting is just sick. And then it's also come out that there's another couple that was also confronted by this same cop. So obviously this cop has some type of authority issues. He thinks that his word is law and he can tell regular people what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And I think that's bullshit, that he can go around thinking he can demand somebody put away their phone during a preview of a movie. Now, if it's one thing if they're texting during the movie, but this is the previews. And even then, you go and you get the manager. And if the manager is busy, oh fucking well, mind your business. You know, this was an upscale movie theater. It wasn't like some, you know, trailer trash movie theater. It was an upscale one where it's dinner and a movie. So everyone should have been there at their table, enjoying their dinner, getting ready for the movie to start. But instead of this man focusing on his family and enjoying his meal, he's focused on a whole nother table that has nothing to do with him. I mean, that's the problem nowadays. People are so nosy and worried about everybody else instead of worrying about their damn selves. And that's why he's in jail now. I bet you any money this man ends up pleading stand your ground. You know, again, this is Florida. And then for all we know, they may just let him off. You know what I'm saying? They may just say, oh, he was stressed out. He's an older guy. He put in all this time into the force. And they may just let him off because so many cops have been getting off. And this video is not to bash cops because there are so many good cops out here who don't get recognition, who don't get told thank you, just like there are good teachers out there who don't get recognition. All we hear about is the crazy teachers who molest children. So this is not to diss cops. There's a lot of good police out there. When things go down, the first people that we call are the police. You know, so I respect the good cops out there, the ones who don't abuse their power, the ones who don't try and regulate what people do when they're out of uniform. You know, so those are the cops I respect, but I'm just so tired of all these stories of these road cops thinking they can just dictate how people live their life in society and that they can pull out a gun and shoot somebody. You know, I think they need to look further into this man instead of, you know, trying to praise him and say how good his career was. They need to look and see were there any other people killed on his watch. Because if he could snap that easily at a movie theater, I just feel like that was not his first time snapping. If this is your response to somebody texting, I can imagine somebody doing a lot worse. So I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I just feel like his background needs to be investigated a little bit more instead of the media trying to give him praises. So anyways, go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire ratchet ass situation that's coming out of our favorite state, ratchet ass Florida. All right, deuces.